let's talk about ways to learn English outside of school. Any tips? Hello from Malaysia. Welcome. Hello. All right. Let's talk about ways to learn English outside of the school when you're not having English classes. So, first of all, I'd like to say something. When you're learning anything, not just a different language, I believe that you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to like what you're doing, or you have to at least have a nice goal or a good reason for doing that. Because if you're just learning because it is an obligation, that thing gets very difficult. You're gonna start saying, oh, I cannot learn English, I will never learn English because it is too difficult for me, or it is impossible. But trust me, it is not, because a lot of people learn English, and no matter how old or how young they are, they will learn English if they want, if they really want, if it is their goal, if it is something that they want a lot, if they want that a lot. Like, for example, I need to learn English to get an increase, or I need to learn English to get that promotion at my job. This is a good motivation, right? So I'm gonna tell you how it was with me. I'm gonna tell you a little bit of my story about how I decided to learn English and what was my motivation. So I didn't know anything at the beginning. It started in 1995 when my dad first came here to the United States. And at that time, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have emails, we just could have short phone calls, and they were very expensive. But when he came back, he was here to work, if I'm not mistaken. But he stayed here for 20 days, I guess, not much more than that. And when he came back, he brought us some gifts. And today it is not like this because the world's more globalized. But at that time, I remember that he brought things that we didn't have in my country. And I was amazed by that. And then he told me that in 1 week he had to learn English because nobody could understand his language. So he was obligated, because if he doesn't speak English, he couldn't even buy food, for example. And from that time, I started to, like this language. And I started to watch movies in English, and I said, oh, it is interesting. I like this language. It is different. That could be a challenge to me. And then I decided to, I started liking this country and this language. So when I was 15, like 10 years, almost 10 years later, I started having English classes at my school. And then I told the teacher, and she noticed that I liked learning that language more than other students. And then she asked me if I wanted to get extra lessons for free. And then I said, yeah, sure. And then I started learning more. And then she gave me some tips. She told me that I could watch some TV shows that I like, especially that I like, not anything that I just watch. And I started doing that. At that time, that we already have internet. It was kind of slow, but we already could do some things. Then I started watching some TV shows that I liked in English with subtitles in my native language. And then I took notes about the words that I didn't know. and I looked up in a dictionary and I took notes about that translation, and then I returned to the beginning of the episode, and then I watched it again until I could watch that full episode without subtitles. After that, I remember that another thing that I like a lot is to listen to music in English. So I started looking for the lyrics in English and its translations. I printed up. I didn't tell my dad because he didn't like to use a lot of ink because it was very expensive. Don't tell him. Then I printed up the lyrics in English and then its translation. I played the song and then I tried to read it in English. Then I looked up the translation for the words that I didn't know. And then I go back to the beginning of the lyric and started over again until I get everything that was said in that song. And I had a lot, like, I don't know, maybe 25, 30, I don't know, a lot of lyrics. And that's how I started doing that. But this was my way. Some people don't like to listen to music in English, for example. It's up to you. But that's the way that worked for me. Some people don't like to watch TV series too. But if you are in a country where you speak another language that is not English, it is harder. But if you have the opportunity to visit or to live for a little bit in a country which English is the native language, you have the opportunity to go to the streets and try to practice. No matter how hard it is, you just have to try. You have to make a goal in life. If this goal is to learn English, you have to take it and make it as something that it's for you. If you don't do that, you're not gonna learn. You're just take it as a burden, which is not good. And then you're gonna go to the school and say, oh my God, another day at school. I have to learn English. Now I have a test to do. I have to study. I have to, it is hard. If it is not what you like, and not just for learning English, for everything in life, just do what you enjoy to do. Don't do something that it is an obligation, because in the future you might regret that. Trust me. I think that you have several ways to learn English when you're not at school. For example, you can read an article, for example. I like to read a lot. I don't like to read books. I know it's bad, but I like to read articles. I like to read newspapers. I like to read about cars. I like to read about technology. I like to read about ways to learn English. That I do a lot too. So this is something. Maybe you like to do that. And you can to look up for articles, not in your native language, but in English. And of course, you're not going to understand every word that is there, every expression, because it is a language. It is hard. So you have to take that article, for example, and then you can translate, but not everything. Don't take the article, copy and paste on Google Translator. Don't do that, because you're not going to be learning this way. Just translate those specific words that you don't know. Okay? Then you go back to the article and read that up again and see if you understand. And you don't have to understand 100% of the words. You just have to take the main idea of the article. Because if you think when you are talking to someone in your native language, it is not 100% of the time that you understand all the words that person says. Right? But you understand the main idea, and this is what is important. All right? You are not gonna be saying, "Oh, what?" or "What did you say?" because just you missed one word that wasn't that important. So when you're reading an article, that's the same. Of course, you have to understand all the words, because in another place that word might be important. So okay, translate that words that you don't understand, but first try to get the main idea. Another tip that I have, there are several websites where you can have that, but my favorite one is Lingui. I can't write here in the chat. Lingui. You can download it too on your cell phone if you want. But if you type the words that you are looking up for, specific words, it gives you translation and the collocation of this word in a sentence. And this website knows about phrasal verbs, a lot of things. It is a dictionary, but a special one with a specific language. What else? Any ideas? Let me see. Yeah, Lingui. Hi, Wesley. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So try to make it get enjoyable. All right. So, for example, if you like a specific TV series, try to watch it in English. You can do it with subtitles in your native language first, and then you watch it, just a full episode, okay? And then you can try to put the subtitles in English. And when you miss the words, you just stop, and then you look up in a dictionary, and then you go back and watch again. And you see that it's not gonna take a lot of time for you to start watching this TV show all in English without subtitles at all. But if it is one that you enjoy, the one that you like, because if it is, I don't know, one TV show that you don't like, you're gonna be sitting there and, oh my God, now I have to watch again. Oh my God, now I have to watch again. Oh, I don't like it. You're gonna complain, you're not gonna learn. It's gonna be an obligation. Don't do that. The same for music. Listen to music that you like, and then you're gonna enjoy. When you understand everything that the singer is saying, you're gonna say, oh my God, I understand everything. And maybe you're gonna be surprised about what they are saying on that song. And that's good too. Maybe you're gonna enjoy more the song that you are listening, or maybe not, I don't know. What else? Another thing that is a good one, you can try to, if you have a friend that it is also trying to learn English too, you can try to go together. You can try to talk to each other. And that's okay, you don't have to be very good at English. Your friend doesn't have to. But you can try. When you're not alone, it is very easier than when you're doing things alone. So you can try to, I know we are in a quarantine time now, but you can try to call your friend. You can video call your friend too. And then you can try to speak in English. And when you don't know how to express yourself, you can stop. Hey, please let me look up here for an expression that I want to say. Or you can ask your friend to help you to express that thing that you're trying to say. You know, two is better than one, always. It's another thing that you can do. You can, for example, I know that there are websites where you can do that. You can try some websites that are paid. I know you have to pay. It's not a lot of money, but you can talk to teachers to help you online. You can also talk to people who speak English in their countries. There are websites, free websites. I don't remember right now the names, but you can just get connected. There are some old people who want to just talk. And then you can get connected to them, and then they can talk to you. And they are very pleased to help you to improve your English and they are very happy to be talking to someone, you can try those websites too. Okay? Any questions? Any suggestions? Any of you is still trying to learn English? Any of you is attending to school English? Any approach students maybe? You can type here in the chat. How did you memorize so many phrasal verbs? It is too difficult. Good questions. It comes with time. I think that Juni is saying that because might have watched my stories here on Instagram. Actually, it comes with time, but to memorize, you have to do that. What I said, you just have to use Lingui, that website and that app that I said. It helps a lot. Then you can, after you see the translation of or not the translation, okay? Phrasal verbs have meanings, not translations. After you know the meaning of that phrasal verb, you just have to try to memorize. And the best way to memorize a phrasal verb or even a word or subject or verb, no matter what it is trying to use it in your day by day. For example, if you're trying to talk to someone or if you're trying to write something in English, try to use that new thing that you learn, no matter if it is a phrasal verb or just a regular word. To memorize, always try to use it in your day by day. Try to do that. It helps a lot because, for example, you learn the phrasal verb hold on. That means wait, right? So you learn this phrasal verb. Instead of saying, oh, wait, you say, hey, hold on. And when you do that, you're gonna learn. Trust me. You're gonna have more than one way to say the same thing. And that's how you improve your English skills. When you have more than one way to do the same thing, you get more confident. You get more fluent. When you're talking to someone and then you have more than one way to say that same thing, you get more fluent, you get more confidence. Because for example, you have to say, wait, and then wait again. No, you don't always say the same thing. You say the first time, oh, wait, and then the second, and then after you say, hey, hold on. And then you can do it different ways and you get more confident, because when you have a little vocabulary, it gets harder to communicate because you start looking up for the words in your mind, and that slows you down. Edwangel 14. I studied for 3.5 years, but my difficulty is hearing someone. Edwangel, I'm gonna tell you. There are some native languages, native English speakers who speak faster. Some of them speak slower. Some of them have accents that it's hard to understand. What I would say is it's going to happen not just in English, in your native language too. So if you listen to a teacher, when a teacher is speaking, you are gonna notice, a teacher who teaches English, you're gonna notice that you understand him or she better than when you're on the streets trying to understand somebody who's saying something. It is normal. You just have to train your ear. That's totally normal. You're gonna get better in the future. You need to, Gabriela, you need to listen to English as much as possibly can. Yeah, that's true. If you watch more movies, as I said, if you put the subtitles in your native language first, and then you try to put the subtitles in English, you're going to train your ear, and then you're gonna get better at understanding what people say. That's a good thing to do. Another question here. But it's normal. I know it has been 3 years for you to learn, but it will come with time. You have to just practice. Maybe if you take 1 hour a day, or even if you don't have this time, 30 minutes, anything is better than nothing. If you try to get as much time as you can in a day, and then you practice with music, practice with a TV show, practice reading articles. But as I said, it has to be something that you enjoy doing, always. Because if you don't enjoy doing that thing, it's gonna be harder. You have to have a motivation. And trust me, a good motivation is the happiness that you feel after you can understand everything that is in a music or everything that it is in a TV show that you like. When you understand what they say, you get proud of yourself. And this is the best motivation that you can have. Trust me, that happened to me. The first time that I could understand someone saying something in English, and if I'm not mistaken, it was with music. Oh my God, I was very, very happy. And that was my motivation for my next steps. You need to enjoy the process. Yeah, you have to enjoy the process. That's the best thing, because that's why I said that you have to do something that you enjoy. You have to find a way to learn English in an enjoyable way, having fun. Yeah. Do something that you like. Maybe playing a game. You can play flashcards. There are several websites on the internet where you can play flashcards in English. You might like that. That may be something that you enjoy doing. Any questions or any tips? Any of you is trying to learn English outside of the school too? Let me see if I see any more questions here. I'm gonna see the chat here. Yeah, I think that's it. So enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy learning English. Make it be something that you have fun with. Okay? It is not a burden. It is not an obligation. It is always good learning something new. It makes you feel alive. Is English language your native language? No, it is not. It is Portuguese, my native language. I'm from Brazil. So always enjoy what you're doing. And it is not just for learning a new language. It's for everything that you do in your life. Enjoy doing that. Have a goal. Have you have to be happy with that thing that you're doing. And then when you learn how to do that, when you are doing this way, everything is gonna be better. And trust me, after the first step, you're gonna be proud of you, and it's gonna be your motivation for the next steps. Next year, I intend to study that approach. Is there an age limit for studying that approach? Never. No age limits. There's no age limits for learning anything, no matter how old or how young you are. You can always learn something new, especially in a language. I don't know how old you are, but of course you can come, no problem. You're very welcome. All right, guys. Any more questions? If you don't have any questions, I guess we're going to finish here. Please always do something that you enjoy doing, and then you're gonna be much more successful. Okay? So I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good Sunday and a good start of English of week. Well, when did you learn English? Child times, only Portugal times, or USA times? No, I started learning English when I was 11 years old, I guess. But I always learned by myself. I just had a teacher who helped me. Yes, when I was 11, but I always learned by myself. I just started having English classes here in the States 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. But you see, because I always enjoyed this language, that's why I could learn by myself. That was my motivation. And as I said, my greatest motivation was the first time that I could understand a full lyric of a song. And then I thought, oh my God, I understand what this singer is saying. That's awesome. Yeah. Questions, people, questions. Yeah, I'm from Brazil, not from Portugal. Any tips about how to learn English? Any tips about things that you do to learn English? Is English education well on the Portugal? So I'm from Brazil. I'm not from Portugal. Demir. I'm from Brazil. I'm not from Portugal. We speak Portuguese in Brazil, but we have some good English schools in Brazil. My parents just couldn't afford paying an English school for me. That's why I didn't have English classes in my country. That's why. But we do have some good English schools in Brazil. Hello, Juliana. Juliana, any tips about how to learn English outside of the school? I know you are a approach student. Any tips about how to learn English outside of the school? Yeah, and if you are going to an English school, it's good to try to do extra exercises. You always can see them on the back of your book. How to understand the pronunciation of the American speakers? For me, it is the most difficult. You have to practice. There is no other way. You have to practice. You have to get used to that. If you are not in the United States, you can watch some TV shows. Try to get some easy TV shows. For example, Friends, it's an easy TV show to understand. Look up for the words that you don't know, and then you go back, rewind that episode, and then you try to understand the whole episode. That's a good way to do. Another way to do, you can try to listen to music, but try to get some easier songs. Some songs are harder because they have a lot of slang. Slangs are hard to understand. Try to train your ear. That's the only way. And also, some American speakers, they speak faster. Some of them can speak slower. Some of them have accents that is makes harder for us to understand. But try to train your ear by watching TV shows or movies. You can watch movies too. Sorry, bro. I suppose you're Portugal. No, that's alright. That's okay. I know it's a common mistake. No problem. I don't mind. Any more questions, people? Any questions? Hello, Saijon. All right, so I guess that. Oh, let me see. I think that sometimes if you have accent, it's not common, but some people, as in any country, they might do that. But it's very hard to see. If you have an accent, people understand, because especially here in Boston, we have a lot of we have people from all around the world, so that's all right to have an accent. The Medi, I am from Brazil. I'm from Brazil. So I am Carla Ramos. Don't be afraid. You're not gonna get problem here by having an accent. The medial English is fine. Oh, thank you. But I just could get this kind of English after a lot of effort. And as I said, it was because I decided that I wanted to learn. That was my goal. I really wanted to learn. So I found ways to improve my English. Yeah, that's why. So always try to do something that you enjoy, something that you wanna have, something that you have fun with, something that is going to something that's going to make you happy. Tip to learn English on the streets. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm still improving my English, teacher. Yeah, that's fine. We are always improving. When we are not native English speakers, we have to be improving always. Julian Artemis. Look for objects on streets that you don't know. Search for a name in English. Create a sentence with a new word and imagine yourself acting according to the sentence that you just made up. Good tip. Good tip. Thank you, Juliana. So I think, for example, you're walking on the street, you see light post, and then you don't know how to say the name of that object. You have to look up in a dictionary and imagine a situation. You can imagine sentences. Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you, Juliana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good tip. So yeah, even in your home country where you're now at, you can go to the street and see a tree. You don't know how to say a tree in English, which is tree. And then you can imagine a situation. You are, I don't know, sitting under a tree and reading a book. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one. Let me see another question. How old are you and what do you do? What is your occupation? I'm 31 and I am a student at Approach. I also work at Approach with activities. Yes, you can learn English without a teacher. I did that since I was 11 and until I got here. So for, I don't know, 20 years, I guess. Yes, for about 20 years, almost 20 years, I learned English by myself without a teacher. It is possible. You just have to have a goal. You just have to have a motivation for that. And as I said, once you get your first step, which is understanding something for a sentence, a lyric, or an episode of a TV show, yeah, it is a good motivation for you. You can learn English by yourself, but coming to Approach really took my English from intermediate to advanced level. Yeah, always with a teacher is better. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Okay? If you don't have any more questions, I just wish a good Sunday for all of you and a good weekend. And stay safe, wear face masks. And wait, Julian, I think it is possible to learn without a teacher, but when you have someone to guide you and ask your questions, it's better. I agree. As I said, when you're alone, it's always harder. You see, I took almost 20 years trying to learn by myself. If I had a teacher, if I was at a school learning, it would have taken much less time than that. Maybe 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, I don't know. But it is very much easier with a teacher, with someone who has the right tools for you. Thank you, Juliana. Okay, everyone. So have a good weekend. Have a good rest of approaches here to take your English to your next level. Yeah. Do you speak slowly for us? Do you speak that like on the normal life? The other American speaker is speak English very fastly. Yeah. I'm speaking in normal pace, I guess. I'm just wondering, how did you learn English? I learned by myself. I learned first with lyrics, with music. I printed up the lyrics in English and then its translations to my native language, and then I listened to the music, and I looked up for the translation, and then I just tried to get it in English until I didn't need none of them. Didn't need the lyrics at all. That was my first step. Oh, I learn English with I learn with songs also, which helps for me a lot. Yeah, that helps a lot. Helped me a lot. It might not help everyone, but for me, it was the best thing for good 2 or 3 years at least. I still do that, to be honest. Yeah, good. All right, guys. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Enjoy your day and have a good beginning of week. All right? Stay safe, keep social distance, and wear face mask when you're outside.